Here's a story that came across the wire over the past few days. Really not in terms of headlines, but in terms of painting an overall picture of Joe Biden's support. Some recent polling just absolutely disastrous for Joe Biden here. So this is a general election poll. Biden +1 nationally in a straight head-to-head matchup with Donald Trump. Look at this support for the third-party candidates, though. This is a Fox News poll. When Cornel West is added into the race, Cornell polls at 9 points. Trump 45, Biden 43. When RFK is added into the poll, it's 41-41 Biden-Trump, with Kennedy at 16 points. These are extremely high numbers for the third parties. Now, I don't know why they didn't do one with all 4 candidates in there, because that would have been the most
I would really like to see that, yeah.
That would be interesting, but only theoretical, because I don't think Cornel West is going to be on that many ballots. So, that number
the last one is probably the most fair and the most realistic to what's actually going to happen.
Indeed. The state polls are where it gets really devastating for Biden here. Ohio, which is really a state that the Democrats have more or less forfeited, is Trump +12. So Ohio is not a swing state anymore. That's a red state now. Mm-hmm. Pennsylvania +9 Trump. That's devastating. Yeah. This is an Emerson poll. This is a reputable poll. This is not HillarySucksballs.biz putting out this poll. Right. Okay, this is Emerson. Pennsylvania +9. I mean, if that number is anywhere near accurate, it's over at that point. Right. I mean, if Trump's winning Pennsylvania by 9,
there's the one thing. Yeah, there's the one thing Cenk is right about. Like, I think Biden is I mean, Nick was right. Like, don't underestimate the ability of the Republicans to fuck it up. It's true. But God, man, I mean, things are just more chaotic day by day. It doesn't mean that Trump is, or whoever runs for the Republicans, is the answer. But when people are feeling that way, they'll almost always vote out the party in power. And look at who's representing that party. It's not like you have somebody with skills.
Right. No, the only chance they have now is to swap Biden out. They have to swap Biden out at this point if they want a chance to win. Wisconsin, Trump +2. Here's a poll out of, there we go. Out of Michigan, Trump +7 in Michigan. I mean, that's another game over state. I mean, really, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona is the election. Whoever wins 2 out of those 3 wins. And the Republicans are positioned where they probably don't need 2 out of 3. They could probably do it with just Pennsylvania, given how some of the other map is shaking out. Right. Because Pennsylvania is by far the most important swing state in the country. Trump +9. Michigan, easier for the Democrats, but obviously not much according to this poll. Trump +7. I mean, when Trump is doubling the margin of error in these critical swing states, that is a 5-alarm fire. I mean, that is when it's time for the Democrats to seriously panic. Biden's recent approval, 39. It's hard for an incumbent to win under 50. Under 40, it's almost impossible, especially when the disapprove is that high, over 50%. Right. You don't have a lot of undecideds here. I mean, that's an absolutely devastating approval rating. And look, as Tucker Carlson said, you don't know what's going to happen between now and then. But as the world just falls apart, it becomes more and more evident that this administration, even drinking the blue pill Kool-Aid, right? Even if you don't, really look under the hood and do deep dives into the issues the way we try our best to do here. Even if you're a normie, you look at the world and you say, this guy can't handle it. This guy can't do it. This is a disaster. The world is coming apart. We need a change. It's that simple. Like the calculation is that simple for a plurality of voters. Most voters do not watch programs like this. They don't read newspapers every day. Most voters take a general sort of look around and see if the world around them is working or not. And with all this going on, there's no way. It just seems impossible. And those swing state numbers are absolutely devastating. Because now, that first poll was an outlier. You can call it an outlier. The WAPO poll that came out a couple weeks ago that everybody was freaking out where Trump was up 9 nationally. We said, well, that's an outlier. And that still is an outlier in terms of national polls, but you're starting to see critical swing state numbers that mirror that. Right. And that's where the elections are going to be won and lost. Exactly. So that's just absolutely devastating.
Well, and I think also more people have started to view this constant escalation of warfare through the lens of a government beholden to the military-industrial complex. I think that idea is moving into the mainstream, whereas that used to be like a left and a libertarian analysis, right? But it used to be, politics. People who were very engaged in politics who had that theory. And I think that's moved to the center, really. I think a lot of people understand what's going on that way. And I think that's an unexamined element of these numbers. I think a lot of people are starting to say, these motherfuckers are so in the pocket of the defense contractors, they're going to get us all killed.
Please clap.